I mean, I guess my question is, what type of environment, right, are we getting in? Are the mechanics that usually drive the fund cycle and the fund management changing or permanently? Is just a period? Like, well, how do you see this dynamic evolving in the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, definitely this cycle does explain that process. Now, is it parallel or, is it sequential? That's a question, right? So
Mm,
if we go from a sequential standpoint, the first thing is deal sourcing. So how do you source a deal? Basically, every fund has a deal pipeline, right? So within that deal pipeline, first thing that they look at is the what is the success criteria of that deal, basically. If you look at anything that's listed with SEC or any other filings, the public filings of a company, the first thing that they would look at, even Wikipedia, right? What's the net asset value here? Total
mm,
assets. Okay, number one. And the second thing is what is the revenue? And the revenue becomes more interesting as the company is diverse and integrated with sectors and markets, basically. For example, if you look at the large giants, in a particular sector, they will be doing, for example, Jeff Bezos, Amazon. That's the best way. There's a Washington Post portfolio. There is a which is into media and stuff. There is commerce activity going on and logistics activity going on in Amazon. There is AWS, right? Definitely companies like that, which has an integrated sector value, their stock price would be more and their valuation would be more. So when you source a deal for PE usually comes at a middle stage to later stage transition of companies, which that's the best time to get in. But they also, because of the term of the fund, they also stick beyond the IPOs, beyond the later stage as well. So because usually the mutual funds do come in on the 5 to 10% investment allocation as the company becomes larger in valuation and grows. So there is a certain areas that PE comes into play on understanding that deal source, deal value or deal volume and deal pipeline and the deal criteria. Now, criteria, as I said, first thing is when you look at a company, first thing, is it an early stage, middle stage, later stage? PE only focuses on middle stage and later stage, which is above a billion in value. And their minimum tickets would be anywhere between, the minority tickets would be anywhere between 25 to 200, 300, or if it is a majority equity, it would go more than $1 billion. So, and in that deal, you have to look at the markets. Is it global? It's domestic, it's national, it's regional. And the second part you look at that deal is what revenue range and revenue types coming from different markets. It could be business to business. If it's Ford is selling the cars, it directly sells it to the US government. It's a business to business deal. If you're selling it to business to consumer, you're selling it directly to the customer. It could be business to employee as well. So when they look at that range, they look at all of those um, different levels of revenues that are coming in, consumer to consumer as well. Most of the online platforms that they bring in, that is how the deal is structured based on the success criteria, the revenue range, and the market type, and also the valuation plays in a major role because if you do a merger and activity, automatically your stock price is going to change on your capital market, and your consumer market, your products and services will also change. When airlines merge together, there is quite a challenge there. The PE fund not only comes in getting that merger and activity going on, but it also helps them in operational excellence. So that's where you identify what kind of transaction I can get in when you assess a deal. And the deal always needs to be assessed from a risk standpoint, from an allocation standpoint, and at the same time, it also needs to be aligned to capital versus consumer market because usually these companies are either in either public companies or private companies.